I got up this morning in the Rosses. I looked out the window. Nice day for cutting turf. I went round to the shed at the back of the house to get the turf spade. The door was broke, no turf spade. So I went into the house and I put on the good suit with the white bottoms and the fair ale pullover and the wife's berry. And I took the bass into Dunlow. When I got off the bus, I went into Beatty's and I had 3 vodkas and 3 bottles of Smatax. I left Beatty's, I went over to the Coop. I says to the girl in the Coop, "Have you a turf spade?" She says, "What kind of turf spade are you wanting?" And I says, "One for cutting turf." She brought me the turf spade, and I says, "Much as that?" She says 7 and 6, and I bought it off her for 6 shillings. Then I was thinking on the shed door broke, so I says to the girl, "I want a half a pound of nails." She says, How long do you want them?" And I says, "I want to keep them." When I was coming out the Coop, I looked in the window and I seen this black rally bicycle. I says to Jim the Coop, "Much do you want for the black rally bicycle?" And he says £12. And I bought it off him for 11, and he threw in a white pump. I tied the turf spade to the bicycle. I went down the street into Beatty's and I had 3 more vodkas and 3 more bottles of Smatax. And when I came out again, there was the black rally bicycle with the white pump and the turf spade tied to it, for I'd left it up against the wall, gone. I went up to the guards' barracks. The sergeant says, "What's the matter?" And I says to him, "Jesus Christ, Sergeant, I got up this morning on the Rosses. I looked out the window. Nice day for cutting turf. I went round to the shed at the back of the house to get the turf spade. The door was broke, no turf spade. So I went into the house, I put on the good suit with the white bottoms, the fair ale pullover and the wife's berry, and I took the bus into Dunlow. When I got off the bus, I went into Beatty's and I had 3 vodkas and 3 bottles of Smatax. I left Beatty's, I went over to the Coop and I bought a turf spade for 6 shillings and a black rally bicycle with a white pump for £11. I went down the street into Beatty's and had 3 more vodkas and 3 more bottles of Smatax. And when I came out again, there they were, for I'd left them up against the wall, gone. The sergeant says, "Have you the number of the bicycle?" And I says to him, "Jesus Christ, Sergeant, whoever took the bicycle took the number and all." I was getting no help there. So I'm down to Beatty's and I had 3 more vodkas and 3 more bottles of Smatax. And I says to myself, how'll I face the wife with no turf spade, no bicycle and very little money? So I took the bus up to Larne. I got the ferry across to Stranraer. I took the train into Glasgow, and when I got to Glasgow there was no work. And just outside the central station I saw this wee girl coming up the street, and her wearing a wee black leather mini skirt. And she must have known me, for she says, "Hi, Paddy. How'd you like to sleep with me for £20? And I says to her, "Do you know, miss, I'm not very sleepy. But I could do with the money." I took the train down to London, and when I was coming out of Euston Street Station in London, I saw this big black girl coming down the street, and her all rings and jewellery, and not much else. And she was giving me the bad thoughts. And I was thinking on the day that I went to confession to Father McGrotty, and he says to me, "For your penance, say 3 Hail Marys." And I says to him, "Jesus Christ, Father, I only know the one." One day I was talking to Patrick Johnny Francie, and I says to Patrick Johnny Francie, is sex dirty? And Patrick Johnny Francie says, it has if it's done right. The big black girl, she says to me, how'd you like to come home with me tonight, Paddy? And I says to her, she's Christmas. I got up this morning I looked out the window. Nice day for cutting turf. I went round to the shed at the back of the house to get the turf spade. The door was broke, no turf spade. So I went into the house, I put on the good suit with the white bottoms, the fair ale pullover and the white sperry, and I took the bus into Dunlow. When I got off the bus, I went into Beatty's and had 3 vodkas and 3 bottles of Smattix. I went over the street to the Coop and I bought a turf spade and a black rally bicycle for £12. I left them outside Beatty's, and when I came out again, they were gone. So I took the bus up to Larne. I got the ferry across to Stranraer. I took the train into Glasgow, and when I got to Glasgow, there was no work, so I took the train down to London. And here I am tonight, coming out of Euston Street Station in London, and you want me to go home with you to Africa?